I call upon Mr. Colm Eastwood.
Thank you, Mr. Principal Deputy Speaker. I want to start by thanking the Alliance Party for bringing this motion. I think it's a very good motion. It's quite a broad motion, and I think it needs to be a broad motion because the issues of equality shouldn't be narrowed down into one particular proposed bill. I think what the motion does is it understands that we're not there yet when it comes to equality legislation, that we are lacking a single Equality Act, which I think if people were prepared to engage with, we could address some of the issues that have been raised today. It's also good that the motion recognises that we have age discrimination legislation that actually discriminates against people on the basis of their age, which, by anybody's standards, is a fairly bizarre way to do law. My colleague, Mr. Atwood, earlier pointed out, and I think rightly pointed out, that it was interesting that the DUP sought to amend only the section of the motion that dealt with the conscience clause issue, but left the issue around age discrimination legislation alone, which I think we can only assume means that the DUP now support the idea that age discrimination shouldn't start at 16, that people under that age should be entitled to avail of the protections in law that people over 16 are entitled to avail of. Not too many of them here right now, but maybe we can look forward to a new announcement from OFM-DFM to say that they've changed their mind and that they finally have agreement on ensuring that everybody is covered by age discrimination legislation. I think that would be a very positive step forward, and I hope I'm not reading too much into the lack of amendment from the DUP around that particular part of the motion, and I think we'll all be very grateful for some confirmation around that. Turning to the issue that has gotten all the media attention, I suppose, is in terms of the conscience clause, or the proposed conscience clause. I think we have to be very careful in this House, Mr. Deputy Speaker, about the messages that we send out to members of our community. For a long time, people within our community who were described as LGBT had to hide who they were from their family, from their communities, from people in general. I think we've moved a long way from that. I think families in every community, regardless of religion or faith, have moved to understand people's position in terms of sexual orientation. I think we have moved as a society very far forward in that regard. Unfortunately, this Assembly hasn't moved quite as fast, and maybe that's understandable. But I think we need to begin to send out a different message, to send out a message to the man in Belfast who was attacked recently, whose house was attacked recently after his husband had passed away, that sort of activity is not condoned by us. That sort of activity should be left in the past where it belongs, and that we, as legislators in this House, stand with minorities, regardless of what minority they are. Stand with them against people who would bully or intimidate them out of their homes or drive them towards suicide, which is a very real concern for many people within our community. I was very proud when I was Mayor of our city to lead the first Foyle Pride March in Derry. That was a march that was joined. We went across the route from the Waterside, from Duke Street in the Waterside, and this particular civil rights march actually made it to the Guildhall, Mr. Deputy Speaker, and I think that shows the advancement that's been made in the decades over the last number of years. So our view,
And all of those things that he's indicated is wrong and to be condemned, those type of attacks that have taken place. But in the report that was carried out by the Equality Commission in England, and I would appreciate your thoughts on this, one of the respondents, a manager in the Health Service, said, "I appreciate minority groups may in the past feel that they were dealt with in an intolerant manner. For that, I'm truly sorry. However, you cannot allow the pendulum to shift so far in the opposite direction. A balance of mutual respect must be found." Is that not what I'm trying to do, that we can strike the right balance and at least have the discussion? What I can't understand is why the SDLP can't support an amendment that doesn't set any preconditions and only asks for a reasonable discussion to take place.
Well, thank the member for his intervention and for giving me an extra minute. Of course, the SDLP has no problem with any discussions. We do think, however, it is very difficult to have those discussions in an atmosphere that, when the DUP call for respect and tolerance, in an atmosphere that's been created, I think, over the last number of months, that hasn't been respectful or tolerant, that has made people within our communities feel less than the rest of us, and I don't think that's the way to go forward. Look, we're open to any discussion or debate. I don't think you need an amendment to this particular motion to get that. I think what you need to do is engage in the idea around a single equality bill, where we can have all those issues addressed and all those issues dealt with. We're up for that conversation. What we're not up for, and what we're absolutely not up for, is supporting legislation that will, in our view, enshrine in law discrimination. And I will answer Ms. Katrina Ryan's point, Ms. Katrina Ryan's question when she asked, will we sign the petition of concern? Yes, we will sign the petition of concern. We've said it before in public. We've said it in private. We'll sign the petition of concern when it comes to this House and is tabled. We will sign it.